We are officially halfway through the 2020 NFL season, folks, which means it is time to take a look at the teams and how they stack up in terms of power rankings. And that's exactly what I'm going to do here. Give you guys my mid-season NFL power rankings, top 10 NFL teams. Which ones are they? I'll give you all of the top 10 here, going from 10 all the way to number 1, and give you a reason for every single spot. So with that being said, if you're new to the channel, welcome, guys. Make sure to go ahead and subscribe. I really do appreciate it if you guys do subscribe to the channel. That's the best way to support me. Make sure to go ahead and follow me on all my social media platforms as well. Links down below for my Twitter, my Instagram, all that good stuff. Reach out, ask questions, do what it is you got to do. But I promise you, you won't find better NFL analysis anywhere else. So let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to go ahead and start at number 10. And let me just say, this was really, really tough. Obviously, we've got 32 teams in the NFL, and to condense it down to 10 is tough. And let me say this. The criteria here when I'm talking about mid-season is not just record. All right, I'm not just going to pick a record. Okay, whoever has a better record has to be above the other ones that don't. Because if that was the case, I mean, there would be no reason for the power rankings. I would just rank it by record. No, this is who have you beaten? Who have you lost to? Like, takes everything into account. How have you been playing? All of those things. And just taking a look at every team on an overall basis. Okay? So, let's start with number 10. And my pick for the 10th team right now in terms of the NFL midseason to the end, this could change. But this is how I feel mid-season. When I say it could change, I mean later down the season. This is just through 8 weeks, right? 8 weeks of football. What have we noticed? I think the Colts are the 10th best team. And hear me out. The Colts, a lot of people are going to laugh here and say, Faiz, really, the Colts, they haven't beaten anybody. Sure, you can make that argument, all right? Their schedule hasn't really asked them to beat many good teams, really. But for the most part, the Colts are a team that I believe have the ingredients to where I can say, okay, they're at least elite at something. Their defense is very solid. Offensive line is solid. Phillip Rivers has been holding them back. I got it. Offensively, they could use improvements. But this Colts team at 5-2, they have shown me that they can still win games, and they're a tough outing for any team. All right? Any team is not going to be able to just push over on the Colts, and that's why I have them here at number 10, because I think they're a solid team. They're well coached, good offensive line, good defense. Again, if Phillip Rivers is just a little bit better, I believe this team would have a chance to be even, in the upper echelon of teams. But right now, I've got them at number 10. All right, moving on to number 9, and I'm going to get a lot of pushback for this one. I've got the 6-2 Buffalo Bills. Yes, that's right, the 6-2 Buffalo Bills. Here's my thing with the Bills, all right? The Bills, to me, have done their job for the most part, right? They've beaten the teams that they were supposed to, but again, when you're going up against the teams that you need to be able to compete against in the playoffs, like the Titans, for example, you can't beat them, right? You can't beat them. So, again, no shame in that. You should say, right, that you're losing to a team that is a playoff team. But for me, with the Bills, I just feel like their quarterback play has been a little bit more inconsistent than people are willing to give, right? We had those, in my opinion, a kind of foolish chance for Josh Allen going for MVP. I thought that was very foolish. I don't think he's at that level or even close to it. This defense has taken a step back. There's no good running game. Like, what do the Buffalo Bills do that's elite? I don't think they do anything elite. Their offense, I don't think it's elite. I think Josh Allen is still too up and down. Has he taken another leap this year? A little bit, but not that much. So, again, I can't do it. I can't put them in the upper echelon of teams because I just don't think they belong. Again, this is not just based off a record, all right? I'm looking at everything. All right, moving on to number 8. And I've got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And this is really low for them in terms of my estimation because I've said all offseason Bucs are a Super Bowl contender. But again, you got to be able to perform a little bit better. They lost to the Bears. They struggled against the Giants. Tom Brady has looked great at some points of the season, but then he's looked really washed at other points of the season. So just more consistency from the Bucs. That's really it. I definitely think this team has Super Bowl aspirations, and we're talking about talent that you can say outside of the Chiefs, nobody has the talent the Bucs have, right? Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. They added Antonio Brown, Rob Gronkowski, Leonard Fournette, Ronald Jones. The list goes on and on. They lost O.J. Howard, but they had him too. So again, the Bucs, they're good offensively, they're good defensively. It's just they've been a little bit inconsistent. That's why I've got them here at number 8. All right, moving on to number 7, and I've got the Saints. Right, and you know what? If you're saying Faiz, I'd flip-flop these two, fine. That's okay. But I've got the Saints here over the Bucs because they did beat the Bucs. So just want to point that out. But also because I don't think the Saints are getting enough credit here. Everybody's bashing the Saints, including myself. I don't want to be hypocritical. I've been bashing the Saints too because Drew Brees has looked washed. He's looked like he can't throw past 10 yards, and he really hasn't been able to. But who cares when you just win football games? Right, you're still well coached. You're still a solid team that could run the football with Alvin Kamara, and you haven't had your best offensive piece in Michael Thomas, and you're still doing this all without him. Imagine the Saints once Michael Thomas gets back. This is a Super Bowl team. There's a Super Bowl roster here, folks. Give the Saints credit at 5-2 that they've been able to hang in there without their best players. There's a lot of teams that without their best player or the best offensive weapon. You can say it's either Alvin Kamara or Michael Thomas. We know that. Without their best player, arguably, that they're able to still have a 5-2 record. That to me is impressive. That's impressive, and that's why I got to give the Saints credit here because I think a lot of people haven't, including myself, so I got to start with myself. Let's move on to number 6, and I've got the Green Bay Packers. Again, the Packers are a good offensive team. They're elite on offense, but defensively, I mean, you can run all over this team. That's the big issue here with the Packers. A little bit of inconsistencies. We saw how poor Aaron Rodgers played in the game versus the Buccaneers, and they will lose to the Minnesota Vikings. Like, again, the Green Bay Packers would have been higher. The performance has kept them down a little bit, so that's why I don't have them in my top 5. Can the Packers go on a Super Bowl and run? Yes, absolutely. They're a Super Bowl contender, but things have to break right. Their defense needs to be better, especially against the run. They probably need more weapons. If I stop Devontae Adams, who are you going to throw to Aaron Rodgers? Yeah, I mean, Robert Tonyan caught 3 TDs, but I don't think he's doing that in the playoffs when, teams are gearing towards stopping your best playmakers. So, again, I think the Packers are a player or two or away from really, really competing, and that's why I've got them at number 6 here. But again, they've been inconsistent here. That people don't want to admit it so far in the first half of the season. All right, let's move on now to my top 5. Right, so here we go. This is the tough part. This is the tough part where I got to make these cuts, and we'll start with number 5. And I've got dun 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 dun. Drum roll, please. Baltimore Ravens. Yep, I'm sorry. The Baltimore Ravens are getting exposed. And what do I mean by exposed, Faiz? What do you mean by that? All right. I should really say Lamar Jackson is getting exposed because here's the thing with Lamar Jackson. Is he still a hell of a player? Yes. Is he a great runner? Yes. Is he still an all-world talent? Yes. But when you force Lamar Jackson to throw the football, sit back in the pocket, get comfortable, and try to throw the football and beat us throwing, we're not going to let you run. Can't do it. And their 2 losses are against the Chiefs and the Steelers. So you might be saying, Faiz, no shame in that, right? True, I would agree with you. But if the goal for the Ravens has just been to beat those teams, they haven't done that. You see, the expectation for the Ravens is different than the expectations for the Colts or the Bills or these other teams. Because the Ravens last year had the MVP of the league. They had Super Bowl aspirations, but they couldn't beat those teams. So it doesn't matter if the Ravens are out here beating bad teams by 20, 30 points. I'm not going to put them up in my top 3 just because of that. No, if the Ravens had beaten at least one of the Steelers or the Chiefs, I would have had them in my top 3 because people think this is a top 3 team. I'm sorry. If you can't beat those teams, you don't belong there. And that's why I'm telling you, I need them to beat those guys. I need them to beat the Steelers and Chiefs. I personally don't think they can, and they showed you they can't. And until they do, I'm not going to put them above there. So I got the Ravens at number 5. Let's move on to number 4. Got the Tennessee Titans. Look, got to give the Titans respect here. Again, bad loss against the Bengals. But again, I can point to bad losses for a lot of these other teams as well. The reason I've got the Titans here is because of the fact that they've still been able to keep up their level of play from last season, right? Last year they had the Cinderella run. People thought they'd fall off. They haven't. 5-2, still been very solid. Again, one bad loss, I got you. But for the most part, this Titans team has been clicking. Derrick Henry running all over, teams like we've seen him do before. This Titans team has their formula. What I like about this Titans team is they're not elite defensively, but offensively, I believe they're elite in terms of game plan. Like, they know what their bread and butter is and what they go to, right? Offensively, they have a chance to be elite. That's why I've got the Titans here, all right? Titans at number 4. I'm telling you, when the Titans are on their game, when Derrick Henry is running the football, Ryan Tannehill is a threat, to be a playmaker, not just inside but outside the pocket. Like, this team is very, 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 very tough to defend, all right? Now we get into our top 3 here, folks. And my top 3, I think you guys can probably guess. I'll go with the Seahawks here. And I'm telling you right now, there's literally only one reason Seahawks are a top 3 team, and that is Russell Wilson. He's going to win MVP. I told you guys this before the season started, and I'm going to keep repeating it. Russell Wilson will win the NFL MVP. And I'm telling you right now, if Russell Wilson was not on the Seahawks, they would not be in the top 10. They would not be in the top 15 or 20. They're literally a bottom 10 team without Russell Wilson. Their defense is awful. They can't stop anybody, but they've got Russell Wilson. So what does that mean? They have a chance every single game. And Russell Wilson does have to be perfect, but this year he's been pretty perfect. The one loss where he wasn't perfect, they lost to the Cardinals. That's why I don't have him at number 1. I have him number 3. But overall, these teams, because they've got the NFL MVP. Last year, I probably would have Ravens here because they had Lamar Jackson. It matters. All right, let's move on now to number 2. And I've got the Pittsburgh Steelers. I know it. Faiz, they're 7-0. They're undefeated. How can you do it? Here's the thing, folks. The Steelers do look like the best team in football. I got it. But again, close games here. Steven Gostkowski makes that kick against the Titans. That game's going to OT. A few bounces here. Like, I'm just saying, it's not like they've blown every team out by 20, 30 points here. Steelers are great. They've got the best defense in football. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Big Ben's playing at a great level. The receivers are looking great. Like, they're looking great. Great. But I can't put them above, you know who it is, the defending Super Bowl champs, the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, I'm sorry. I can't do it. This is like me telling you who's the better team. If you ask me between the Chiefs and Steelers, I will take the Kansas City Chiefs. Again, they've got the best offense in football. This is the best defense in football. In today's NFL, what wins? The best offense or the best defense? I think the best offense would win here. And that's why I've got the Kansas City Chiefs. Again, I don't think you guys need me to explain this much. The Chiefs do have one loss against the Raiders. It's a divisional game. Those are always tend to be tough, folks. You can go back and look and see division opponents play each other close. I would bet you anything in the playoffs, the Chiefs, and if they met the Raiders in the playoffs, they would absolutely smack them. There's no doubt in my mind. It happens, but the Chiefs, I got to go with them as a number 1 team. But the Steelers are right there. They deserve to be obviously top 2. I know people want me to put them at number 1. And you know what? If you want to make that argument, sure, go for it, guys. I'm not going to give you guys a lot of pushback here. Personally, I've got the Chiefs. All right, I think they're the best team through 8 weeks, through the midseason. They've looked like it. Again, one bad loss against the Raiders. Gotcha, but there it is. So, Chiefs, Steelers, Seahawks, Titans, Ravens, Packers, Saints, Bucks, Bills, Colts. There you have it, my top 10 teams. Midway point of the NFL season. Let me know if you guys enjoyed that. If you did, be sure to hit that big thumbs up. Thanks for watching.